Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Short Film Ideas channel. This is Chike Kamara, and I am in the middle of a 10-day short film idea challenge whereby every day for 10 days I come up with a short film idea and then I post it on YouTube so that you can see my process, and maybe you can adapt the process for yourself so that you can easily come up with short film ideas. Okay, so let's jump right into it. Today is day 6. I give you my source, I give you my thoughts on the source, and then I give you the idea, and then I go over my beginning, middle, and end, my initial beginning, middle, and end that I chose to develop the final idea. Okay, so today, day 6, let's go. So the source is, I read a story online about a 93-year-old man who is searching for his French love, whom he met 35 plus years ago. So 35 plus years ago, he was in France and he met a woman who he fell for. Okay. And the story basically is he ended up finding her and he met with her, but it didn't work out. And but it was a lesson on humanity and how things don't always end in a fairy tale way. So that's the source. And I thought it was interesting, and it was certainly compelling because you have a 93-year-old man, first of all, and then he has the problem of looking for somebody he hasn't seen that he met 35 years ago. So there you go. You have an interesting idea, and I had a compelling idea. So we can move forward and come up with an ending. Okay, but let me just give you what thoughts I had on this story. Okay, so I have a 93-year-old man looking for his eternal love, quote unquote, whom he met in Paris a long time ago. And that is, again, is both interesting and compelling. And it's already a film idea to me. Whether it's a feature film or short film, I don't know, but it's a film idea to me. I mean, it's interesting and it's compelling. We have a problem that we can solve that can make it compelling. So cool. And so I just have to answer a couple questions. Number one, does he find her or not? And that's up to me. If I wanted to make it compelling, I might want to have him find her. But anyway, these were my initial thoughts. And if he does find her, then what? And I have here, incidentally, this would be just as compelling if it's an old woman who was searching for a man in the same scenario. It might be more interesting as well, especially if the man was married now. So, so you can sort of flip that as well. So, what makes my story compelling? My source compelling? We have an old man looking for a woman he met 35 plus years earlier in another country. That's compelling. Okay. We have the problem of the man looking for this woman who he doesn't know. And it's also the problem of an old man. He's 93 years old. How is he going to find this woman? And it would be compelling just to see the process of him even finding this woman. I mean, there are so many perceived limitations to him doing that just based on his age and the fact that he met her in Paris. So there's plenty of conflict there, or possible conflict there, or difficulty there. And difficulty can make for a compelling story, especially if you come up with a reasonable way to solve the problem. Okay? All right, so here's the idea. The idea I came up with, this is sort of like a story idea. So I came up with when I do my ideas, I try to come up with sort of like a story in 3 parts. You know, I try to infer the beginning, middle, and end, and I try to put as much colorful color in there as I come up with sort of like a story idea, so that it can help keep me on track. And this is based on the beginning, middle, and the end that I chose. Okay, so a charming old man, nearly a century years old, embarks on a short journey to find the love of his life that he met in Paris, France, over 30 years prior. After some adept investigating, he finds the woman who now lives in a rural North Carolina, USA town. After strong persistence by the old man, the woman agrees to meet with him in a public place at the state capitol. At their fateful meeting, there's an awkward energy as the woman is irritable, and her husband has tagged along. It's a disaster. The old man goes home having learned a lesson. Life changes us all. And I think I can add something in there, something like a short time later he passes away. But there's a lot of ways I can go with that. So this idea can definitely be fleshed out more and made more compelling. But that is what I came up with. And we have something to work with there. Okay. This can be a short film or a feature film, actually. All right. So let's go over the beginning. So again, I have a interesting seed of an idea. It's interesting. That's good. We start there. It's compelling on a few levels because there's problems to solve, there's challenges, and that's good. So we can move to the next step. The next step is coming up with an ending. If I can't come up with any endings, then I don't write it. I don't write the idea out. Okay. And the ending I came up with is the old man and the woman meet and it doesn't go well. The old man leaves without realizing his dream. Now remember, when I come up with the beginning, middle, and end, that's before I come up with the idea. So it might seem rudimentary and it might seem like it a little bit different than the idea, but this is the ending I came up with. Okay. All right. So after that, so I come up with a few endings, like I always say. And then I come up with a few beginnings and a few middles, and then I choose the ones I like, and I try to piece together a rough idea, and then I do the color, sort of colorful, more detailed story idea that I was talking about. And sometimes that needs to be tweaked too, but at least I have, a coherent sort of idea that I can relate to somebody if I'm trying to do the film. Okay, so then I go back to the beginning, and the beginning I chose was an old man begins a search for the love of his life that he met in Paris, France, 35 years prior. Okay, I don't get detailed about the story because, again, that's when you decide you want to do the story. After the idea, you can color in some of this stuff and make it make sense and give reasons why she's the love of his life and all that stuff. But I'm just coming up with an idea now, and if the idea is compelling and interesting, then I can start breaking down more details if I want. Okay. All right. So the beginning I chose. An old man begins a search for the love of his life that he met in Paris, France, 35 years prior. And the middle I chose was the old man searches and finds the woman in North Carolina. They agree to meet publicly. All right. So, yeah, that's what I came up with. Simple enough. And this idea, again, it's sort of embellished a little bit. I can definitely tweak it a little bit and tighten it, but at least you know the story based on the idea. You know the story I want to tell based on the idea. Okay, so that's day 6. That's what I have, and we'll see what I come up with tomorrow. I love you, and please do like and subscribe so you'll know when I post more of these ideas and coming up with short film ideas and stuff like that. Okay. All right. So I'll see you tomorrow for day 7.